All right, here's your hip and glute workout. It's gonna be a burner, so buckle up. Start standing. Let's just do an easy march in place. I always say easy, it's never easy. All right, right away begin to lift your knees. We'll put some energy behind it, lots of axial elongation. You have that little string pulling you up from the top of your head. We're nice and easy on the joints. March light, all the things you know. It's not an arm workout, but let's get the heart rate up by adding the arms forward and out. Manage the position of your head. You're in a good gravity line. All right, forward, out, and up. All right, we talk about hands directly over the shoulders on the lift. Good, lift those knees. And let's go straight up, like a jog. It should not be easy. Final 10 seconds here. Push the pace. Here's 5, 4, 3, 2, and come right down in your voyeur stance. Soften your knees. Keep your weight in your heels. Anterior, posterior pelvic tilt. Just warming up the low back. Getting a good sense of where our ears are on top of our shoulders, on top of our hips. Best gravity line. Big exaggerated posterior tilt. Tailbone lengthens down. The rest of the spine lengthens up. And last 3. And stay in that posterior tilt. And just to warm up that low back a little bit, let's just gently go side to side. Take your time. No rotation. Gradually increase the range. Get a little bit more reach. Good, 4 more. And we'll just do a nice gentle side bend. As you're side bending, feel the bend actually coming from the lumbar spine. Right? We can side bend anywhere along the spine, but make it a lumbar stretch, a low back stretch, maintaining a nice posterior pelvic tilt. And take this over to the other side. And just a reminder, it's not how far down you go, it's lifting. Last 3, 2, and 1. Turn your toes out. We're going to do plenty of squats today, so let's get those hips warmed up. Toes and knees point out at a 45-degree angle. And my hips, it just takes me a second to kind of work my way into this position. Bend your knees, hold that. We have a small posterior tilt. We do want the most upright spine position we can have. However, if the knees cave inward, then you have to lean a little bit forward. Right, look at your knees. They go past the second toes. Right, we encourage the knees to open. You can do a little side to side for mobility and just to kind of get your mind off of things. Good. Find stillness. Just stay there for a couple more moments, shifting weight into the outer edge of your foot. And then stand it up. So I recommend you stand on the actual floor for this one. My space is kind of limited. I'm going to do my best. So feet are in your gravity line, second toes are forward, 2 fist distance between your feet, and we just maintain a nice tall gravity line as we go. Shift your weight to 1 foot, doesn't matter. Your arms can come out for balance. You'll lift your knee and just tap the foot down. So as I lift and lower, my body weight is supported by the one leg. Keep a little bend in the standing leg. And notice where your weight is on the standing foot. Keep that even distribution of weight. The purpose here is to warm up the hip joint. You do want to lift the knee nice and high. Okay, we're going to add to that. You'll lift the knee and you're going to tap the foot behind you. But as you do, keep a small tuck under. The lumbar spine is flat. So we lift and reach back. So we avoid moving the spine here. We want pure extension of the hip. Arms wherever you need them. Good. Final 3. And 2. Now listen, same leg. We're just going to go out to the side and tap down. That's all. Out to the side and tap. Try not to lean as you bring that leg up. Stay nice and tall on the standing leg. Nice gravity line position. And go 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rinse and repeat other side. It's just a tap. And watch here that you don't move the spine so we don't have any shift of the actual pelvis. The pelvis is still. We're purely moving inside of the hip joint, the femur head. And if you don't need the arms out, that's fine. Okay, careful not to lean back, right? Remember, we're in our gravity line position. You actually use the hip muscle to pull the knee up. Let's add the tap. All right, we do not allow the back to arch as we reach back with the foot. Just looking for extension of the hip. Maybe 3 more of these. Here's 2. Here's a transition. We just go straight out to the side. So I'm at about a 45-degree angle, maybe a little bit more. And again, we don't want to allow the pelvis to turn. You want to keep your frontal hip pointers facing directly forward. Your hips are square. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, still in your gravity line position. I like to turn to the side to do this one. So we're moving into some squats. For now, I want your feet directly in the gravity line, not wider like we'd normally do squats. All you'll do here is bend your knees and straighten your knees, driving your knees forward, driving your knees back. So the first part of our squat is just getting ankle mobility, getting the knees to move. Gravity line stays nice and tall here. And the weight, of course, stays in the back of the foot. It's fine to keep your toes down, just don't grip your toes. Okay, just warming up those feet and ankles. Really kind of push that range, driving the knees forward and backwards. And we'll just do about 4 more. Here's 2 and 1. Okay, so now set yourself up how you normally would if you're setting up for a squat. The toes can point out just a little bit. That is natural for the hips. Start in your gravity line, meaning you're completely standing, and just take the knees forward and back like we just did. So the first action of the squat, we're going to lead with the knees, and then we'll add a very small hinge into it. Right, the knees go a little forward, weight is in the back of the foot. So do your best to stay vertical. avoiding this, right? This is what we do not want. I know you can do a deep squat if you lean way over, but we're just approaching it a little bit different here. Whatever you need to do with your arms is fine. Good. And now maybe you can go just a little bit deeper. Keep your chest up. The head moves with the body. And now we'll just move a little bit faster. So we're going for about 30. We're about to do a circuit, so we're moving in sets of 30. Heels stay down. I know it's hard for me. My feet are tight. Here's 5, right? It's not earth-shattering our first set. Here's 4. Here's 3, 2, and 1. Second part of this circuit, lie down on your back. This is our L3 bridge. Arms are out to the sides, hands a little higher than the shoulders, feet are hip distance. Press your low back into the mat. L3 is behind your navel. We want L3 completely down on the mat and your seat just barely lifted. Okay, so L3 is a spot. Start slow, bridge up, balancing between your shoulder blades, and bridge down, articulating your spine one vertebra at a time, just to L3, and you lift back up. So we're going to go slow and we're going to be very precise. In general, we're not very aware of what's happening in the back of the body, so you do have to feel which areas are tight, which areas do not want to move. Does L3 not want to touch the floor? And then we're just going to pick up the pace a little bit. Again, going for a set of 30. I'm not the best counter. I do try. Good. I'm not using momentum. I'm not throwing my hips up. It's a controlled up and down. L3 and lift. L3 and lift. Let's make the final 10 just a little faster. It's lower and lift. Lower and lift. Go 5. Stay precise. 4, 3, 2. On the last one, hold your lift. Now just listen for it. In this lifted position, I want you to tuck your tailbone under more. That's a posterior pelvic tilt. We're taking any arch out of the low back. Just hold. I want you to feel how the glutes really engage on that movement. And then lower all the way back down and roll over onto your side. You can prop your head. I have a blanket to prop my head. So we want to find that side lying position. Shoulders are stacked, hips are stacked. You know that your hips are stacked because your knees will be side by side. If one knee is jutting out, then your hips are not stacked. We have a nice lift through the bottom side. Your top hand can touch your bottom knee. That helps you keep a good gravity line, a good flat lumbar for this movement. I'm going to stack my blanket up. All right. Lift your top leg in line with your hip. Toes are pointing forward. Now just aim your heel a little bit upward towards the ceiling. So the toe is aiming slightly down. Hips stay right where they are. Flex and point your foot a couple times. We have a sensation of the abdominals just pulling in to support the spine. Beautiful. Now flex your foot. Rotate the toe down. The pelvis has not moved. We're going to tap the toe to the floor and lift. Okay, we keep the foot directly in line with the hip for this set. And we want to keep the spine completely still. I can take my leg a lot higher, but my low back is going to move. Continue to reach your leg longer, longer, longer. You'll be happy to know we only have 10 right here. Okay, 2 more. Good. Now keep that leg at hip height. Without moving the pelvis, take your leg forward 45 degrees and rotate the toes down. Okay? Touch. Make sure your pelvis is in the correct position. And same thing. Tap your toe to the floor and lift. right? I do want you to lift a little higher than hip height, but careful not to throw the top hip backwards. We're just going to be slow and precise. The knee is totally locked. Last 4. Now we're feeling it. Very good. And 3. We're working the glute. We're just working different fibers of the glute. Okay, take that leg forward 90 degrees or as close as you can. If you had tail feathers, you'd stick them out. Take that top hip and pull it away from your rib cage. Okay, leg is still rotated down. We have 10 here. It's a tough one. Go 10. 9. 8. Go for some range here. 7. 6, 5, 4, 3. Nothing easy about this. All right, take that top leg. You're going to put your foot on the floor and straighten your bottom leg. Okay? So grab that ankle. Look at your bottom leg. It's going to be just slightly in front of your body, not much. Flex your foot. Internally rotate your thigh so that your toes are facing upward. We'll lower and lift, and it's going to be that full range, meaning we lift as high as we can go and then tap the floor. Focus on the reach. How hard can you push your heel away? Good. Rotate those toes up. Go for 3, 2. On this one, hold it up. Let's get a little extra here. We're going to pulse up top third, just top third of the range. Yes, go 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Change sides. I know, it started easy, didn't it? All right, again, you can grab that bottom knee. Make sure your back is like it's against a wall, knees are stacked. I'm going to grab onto the bottom knee, and just let's get set up, just flexing and pointing that top leg. It helps you to find your position. Position is everything here. There's a million ways to cheat on this one. Okay, good. Flex that foot. Internally rotate. So toe is down, heel is up. Go for a full range. That means your toe actually hits the floor, and you lift only as high as you can keep your hip away from your ribs. Nice long waist. No spinal movement. Okay, be precise here. Here's 4. Excellent. 3. Reach away with your heel. Last one, hold it up. Take that leg forward 45 degrees. Pelvis is level. Toes are rotated down. We lower and lift. We've changed the angle. You'll feel it different. Here's 4. Don't get mad at me for my counting. 5, 6, 7. Make that toe touch the floor. 8, 9. Hold it up. Take it forward 90 degrees. Really draw that top hip backwards as you push forward through the heel. Here we go. Here's 10. And please make it as big as you can without moving your pelvis. Here's 4. You just have to will it to happen. Here's 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's get that inner thigh, foot to the floor, bottom foot is flexed, and toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. Here we go. Take it slow here. Focus on reaching through the heel. That inner thigh comes up, it squeezes. Good. Go for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, hold it up. Stack those hips. And little pulse just to the top third of the move. Good. Here's 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hardest transition. We're going back to the squat. Stand up. I'll face you this time. Feet can be comfortably wide. Let's get going here. We have 30. Again, start with the knees. Lead with the knees going forward. You can visualize the whole spine moves as one piece. like you have a rod in your back. We don't allow any flexion or extension of the spine. We just move from the knees and hips. Good. Let's move a little quicker. And do try to imagine that you're going straight down over the ankle and back up. Do your best to eliminate the lean. Now notice, what are your abs doing? We really want those abs to support us, meaning you don't let the abs go at the bottom. Final 10, a little bit quicker. Here's 10, 9, push the range. Here's 8, 7, 6, 5, very good. Here's 3, 2, last one. Can you come down and just hold? Maybe get a little more vertical and then come down a little bit more. And then I'll get a little more vertical. Just hold and stand it up. Good. Lie down on your back. Second set of bridges. Arms out. This time we want the feet to be in a V with the heels together. The entire bottom of your foot is actually on the mat. It's just that your feet are V'd out just slightly. Push your inner arch strongly into the floor and open your knees. I know you can open your knees a lot, but then the feet leave the floor. So press down through that inner arch. Find L3, and we'll start slow. Lift into your bridge, lower down to L3. All right, we start slow, we start precise. It takes some focus to push your inner arch into the floor. And the knees really shouldn't go much wider than shoulder distance here. Okay, second 10, we're going to pick up the pace. It's lower and lift, lower and lift. Even as you lift your hips, you want that sense that the pelvis is tucked under. It's not a back bend. Right? Yoga, we do a bridge for a back bend, not the Aldoa. Good. Now challenge your pace. L3 down and lift. Here's 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way back down, roll over onto your side. We're going to do the exact same leg series. We're just going to move a little bit faster through it. Knees are stacked. Grab that bottom knee. Extend your leg in line with the hip, toes rotated down. We lower and lift. All right, it's our second time, so maybe you have a little bit more range. That glute is used to it. That hip is like, okay, we gotcha. Here's 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take it forward 45 degrees. Reset the pelvis as you need. Toes are down. Go for 10, 9, 8, 7. Yeah, toes actually touch the floor. Here's 4, 3, 2, 1, take it forward, right? Top hip pulls backwards. Push that heel forward. You only have 10. This is a toughie. Here's 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Keep the angle. 2, and 1. Inner thigh, toes rotate up. We'll slow this one down. It's a lift and a lower. Here's 2, 3. Look at that top hip. Can you pull it forward a little bit more? Here's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold the lift. Rotate the toes up. Top third. Here's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Change sides. All right, you're going to get better at setting yourself up. I'd suggest a mirror if you've got it. Grab that bottom leg, foot in line with your hip, toes are down. Here's 2, 3, 4. Limit that spinal movement. It gets harder as we go quicker. Here's 7, 8, 9, 10. Take it forward 45 degrees. Here's 1, 2, 3. Even the act of pressing downward rather than letting gravity take you, that's a little action that's going to get the muscle to work harder. Here's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take it forward 90 degrees, right? Take that top hip and send it away from your head. Go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Keep the pace. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inner thigh, toes rotate up. Top hip comes forward. We'll take the first 10 slow. You're reaching out through the heel as you lift. A little higher. Yes. Here's 8, 9. Hold it up. Keep that foot flexed. Top third. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come on down. Just to stand it right back up. I'm going to do this from the side to keep me honest. All right, here's your squats. Leading with the knees. All right, guys, I'm really tight through the ankles. This takes a lot of work for me. The more you practice the Eldoa, the more you know how to distribute your weight on those 3 points at the bottom of your foot. You're going to see my knees come forward a little bit. I'm leading with the knees. If your weight is in the back of your foot, you're safe. That one was sloppy. Let's increase the rate, increase the pace. Whatever you want to do with your arms, that's all you. Right? If you want weights, that's all you too as well. Let's increase the pace a little quicker. Here's 9. Here's 8. Keep those abs zipped up and in. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. On your back. All right, arms out. This one's going to be a tough one. Feet in line with your hips and maybe just a little closer because you know we're going single leg here. Find your L3. Seat is lifted. Lift up into your bridge. Now, tuck the pelvis under. Right? We want the glutes to hold us. Your arms are not allowed to help on this one. Take your right leg, reach it straight up, and flex your foot. If you can, drop the straight leg so that your knees are in line with one another, but not touching. We're going to lower down to L3 and lift back up. Hips are level. Lower and lift. Here's 3. We'll go to 10. Here's 4. Push through that heel. 5, 6, 7. If you're tight in the front of your hip, this is going to be a little tough. Here's 9, 10. Lower your foot, lower your spine. Reset, we have the other side. L3 is down. Find your bridge first. Lots of posterior pelvic tilt. Lift your left leg, foot is flexed. Knee in line with knee, but not touching. Now it is Eldoa, so we need a tiny bit of internal rotation at the straight leg. Here we go. L3 down and lift. Right, hips are level. Even if it means your bridge is smaller. Good. Articulate your spine. Hit L3 every time. Here's 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. One more. Walk your feet wide on your mat, width of your mat, and bring your knees all the way together. So these two things need to be true. The sole of the foot is on the mat and the knees are touching. If your knees are not touching, you're too wide. We're just going to do 10, starting with L3 pushing down. We find L3 and lift up from there. Okay, go slow. It's hard on this one not to allow your low back to arch or sway. Squeeze those knees. Here's 3. We're only doing 30, I promised you. Here's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Are you sweating? I'm sweating. And 9. And 10. Lower all the way down. Roll over onto your side. This is our last set of side lying legs. Hallelujah. Top arm grabs the bottom leg. Foot is in line with the hip. Here we go. Go 10. We'll go a little quicker. Once you've got the form, then we work towards increasing the pace. If your form is all over the place, go a little slower. Toe down and lift. Heel strongly reaches in that direction. 45 degrees. Level the hips. Here we go. Here's 10. Here's 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take it forward. Rotate the toe down. Push out through the heel. Go for 10. 9. Do your best. Here's 7. Give me some height. 6. Yep. 5, 4, 3. Yes, I'm struggling. 2. And 1, inner thigh. So if you can grab that foot, you want to take your arm and then use that to pull your top hip forward in space. Rotate the toes up. We go for 10, 9, 8. If this top hip rolls back, it's just easy, right? We want that top hip to be forward. Yes. Go 4, 3, 2, hold it up. Now we don't want the ankle to sickle. It's not the foot turning. It's an internal rotation of the hip. Go 10, 9, top third, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Change sides. Let's knock it out. All right, stack it up. You got it. Lower and lift. On one hip, my hip likes to go forward a little bit too much. I have to really watch that on my right side. It's about length, guys. Push through the heel. Here's 4, 3. Can you control the down? All right, 45 degrees. Toes rotated down. Here's 10, 9. Right? We make it harder by working quicker or increasing the range. Here's 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Last one here. Reach the hip away from your head. 10. Here's 8, 7. Work for the pace. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inner thigh. Really thrust that top hip forward. Internally rotate. Go for 10. Right, I want your ankle to be relatively straight, not rolled in. This was easy on the first set. Here's 4, 3, 2. Hold it up. Little pulse up and up. Here's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Roll over onto your back. This is our glute max myofascial stretch. Stack right ankle over left knee, flex that top foot. Be aware of your pelvis. It will want to turn. We're going to keep that nice and straight. Pull the left knee in. Right, the neck is relaxed, the shoulders are relaxed. We're going to pull with the elbow. Press your sacrum down. Think tailbone to the floor. Encourage that top knee to open. When I say encourage, I want you to use your strength to push that top knee open. Spine is nice and long here. Release and change sides. Left ankle over right knee. Hug that right knee in towards your right shoulder. By far my tighter side. Okay, pull the knee in, but press that sacrum down. Even if you're flexible, just that little action will give you a nice stretch in the left glute. Okay, now push that left knee open. Return your foot to the floor. Change sides. So I am pretty flexible here. I'm going to grab the front of my shin. You don't have to. You're just going to notice that I do. Right? And try to come directly into your best stretch so you can remain there for the 30 seconds without the muscle shortening or lengthening. In other words, we don't want to contract and release, contract and release. We want to sustain the stretch. Top foot is in eversion. Pinkies out, pinky toes out. Release, change. All right, relax your neck. You don't need it. Pull with your elbows. Deepen your breath. And work. Release, change sides. We're going to do the magic number 3 on each side. 3 30-second holds. If you are more flexible and you would like to cross your leg a little more over that bottom knee to feel a stretch in a slightly different place, please do. If that causes your pelvis to turn or it's just not as good of a stretch, leave that out. Good. This should be a strong stretch. Get right into it. Last couple breaths on this side. Release and change sides. Last one. If you need an extra bit of crossover, that is up to you. The direction you aim the knee you're holding, whether it aims a little inward or outward, that's also up to you. However, we still need your spine to be long and straight and the sacrum pushing back down towards the floor. Couple more breaths. And release. Come up to kneeling. If you have a chair, I highly recommend it. All right, you can have that there for you. Up to kneeling, take that right foot forward. We definitely want the leg to be out so balance is not an issue. And you have a nice posterior pelvic tilt. Okay, so keeping the spine straight, you'll come down and put your hand on the floor. If that's too much of a reach, hand on a chair. Okay, I'm just not going to show like that because you can't see me. So I'm going to work towards getting my right hand to my left ankle. Okay, if that is not available to you, first try sitting your hips back to see if you can get the bind. If that still just is not happening, practice same side. Okay, it's not quite as good, it's not quite the same, but we try. Even in this position, I want a nice posterior pelvic tilt, and I want to pull the heel in towards my glute. Okay, I've got my nice wide stance here. Just see if you can come completely upright on the knee. Tilt the pelvis under. This does take some practice to find your balance, to figure out where does that opposite leg need to go. If you have your bind, if you're in this one, no problem. You have a nice pelvic tilt. We can take the same side arm and reach it up, increasing the fascial tension on the quad. Work at your level. Another couple of moments here. If you're falling out of it, it really just is a matter of where you're putting your front leg, your support leg. Try turning your toes forward and walking your leg wider. Okay, slowly release. I'll show this one from the side. I am doing the opposite side, so the left leg goes forward. All right, I have a pelvic tilt. I'm going to start here on the floor. My left hand reaches for my right ankle. I'm tighter on this side. I might have to bring my seat back to my foot. I create a nice wide base to go deeper into the exercise. And please stop wherever your level is, wherever you get a nice stretch and you can hold, that's where you stop. I'm holding on with the opposite hand. I'm taking the same side hand. So right knee down, right arm up, and I'm reaching, nice Eldoa hand. At the same time, I tuck the pelvis under, big posterior pelvic tilt. Slowly release. We'll do one more on each side. Just gonna skip a couple of steps. I'm gonna walk that right foot forward, grab with the opposite hand. I'm gonna come right up, and I do have obviously I have a thick mat. I'm not on a yoga mat for this one. Point that tailbone down, so big posterior pelvic tilt, and lift through the fascia of the lat, the shoulder. Good, breathe. This muscle is big. It can take some intense work. If you're also struggling for your balance, just try just a hair leaning into that front knee, just a little bit, almost like you couldn't even see it, and see if you can get your balance. And then from there, get a little more upright. Release. Last one. I'll face this side for this one. I've got my left foot forward. Left hand grabs right ankle. I'm not going to lie, this one took me a while. It took me a while to have my balance here. For so long, I had a chair in front of me. It's completely fine. You can even lean your elbow onto the chair. Otherwise, get as vertical as you can to your knee. Just a note, we don't want to pull the foot across the body. We want to keep it in line with the same side glute. Opposite arm reaches up. All right, we want a lot of axial elongation here. Couple more breaths. And slowly release. Very nice. If it's the end of your day, I recommend Eldoa with legs up the wall, L5, S1. That's always a great way to take care of your spine after you've done segmental strengthening. Otherwise, see you later. Great job.